I'm standing here at the Maidan Square. Now, essentially, this is the center of Kyiv, and with me are members of the Indian community, and they're eagerly waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to this country. Let's start with Mr. Ram, who has been staying here in Ukraine for a pretty long time. What's your expectation from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Ukraine?
Prime Minister's visit is a ray of hope for Indian community here, not only for Indian community, but for Ukraine as well, because everybody knows his leadership and our relationship with Russia, and this barbarous war which is taking place, this aggression from last 2.5 years. So this need to be some end need to be put here. So we expect that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will have some formula, will have some advice, some suggestion which can bring to peace to this land once again.
Sir, you have been staying here for many decades now. So, if you can give us an assessment of how large the Indian community is, after the war, many Indians left as well.
Yeah. Like as to my information, before the war, the community size, which was consisting of expats and the people who are doing business here and who are staying for permanently, the number was somewhere around 500 to 600. That was all over Ukraine, plus some of their family members. But after the war, it has reduced down to 200 to 250. Right now, when Prime Minister was coming, we were making a list of the people who are present in Ukraine, and we could hardly find that more than 200 people are present in Ukraine. And as far as students community is concerned, it used to be 19,000, and that was because that was very much calculated, and during the Ganga evacuation operation, this figure was very much clear that the students who were studying here was 19,000. But now, after the war, it has reduced to 1,000 only.
So the numbers have drastically reduced after the war, which started in 2022. The Indians, of course, left in a large group. Mr. Manish, how has the war impacted you? How has it impacted the members of the Indian community? It is a mental fatigue as well, and of course, there is an omnipresent danger as well. We hear the sirens off and on.
So me and my family are staying here for last 18, 19 years, and just before the war, my family left for India. Fortunately, it happened before the war started. I left after the war, 5 days after the war. So yeah, it's quite stressful for the locals here, plus the Indian families. Indian families who have been living here were quite happy in living in a very peaceful country. And we never imagined such a thing could happen. And everyone was staying like a small Indian community here. But as you interacted with other Indian members, everyone's family is now separated. The family is living in some country, and people are traveling here, there. So family life is disturbed. And the people visiting here, like me, Mr. Sanjeev Bhagat, Mr. Ram, who is staying here constantly, there's a constant fear of anything happening any point of time.
Constant fear of anything happening. I'll take that line and I'll throw a question from that line. What is that worry which the members of the Indian community have been talking about, which is very omnipresent in terms of the threat? I mean, we just saw the US embassy issuing an advisory. Do you fear for your life?
Well, fear of life exists, and when we hear silence, we are supposed to leave our house and go to the basement. If you are staying in a private house, you go to the private house basement if you have that. And if you are staying in a huge building, then you will have to find out basement somewhere or metro basement in order to go there and live. If there will be siren for 10 times a day, will you be able to work? Will you able to eat? Will you able to live with your family if there will be 10 times there is a siren? So हम लोगों को अभी आदत हो गई है. We have been habitual now listening to these sirens, which indicates that we have to leave the house and go to the basement. With the Western help, with lot of anti-missile facilities which are available now in Kiev particularly, and all over Ukraine. From last 1.5 year, it was quite secured here. Though the anti-missile attacks took place, heavy anti-missile attack took place. Recently also there was an attack in which around 80 missiles were shooted on Kiev. So this is a place which is not secure, but this is being our karma bhumi. We have to live here, and we will be living here till end. And we hope there will be a peace after some efforts of Modiji's visit to this country.
Very briefly, coming to you, sir. I know as of now there is no plan when it comes to the Indian Prime Minister's public engagement. It's a war zone. It's expected that plan will not be out. If you manage to meet the Prime Minister usually meets diaspora during his meetings abroad. What message will you give him?
See, needless to say that the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, a wise Prime Minister, he is understanding the whole situation very well. And whatever clout he is having and whatever trust he keeps from Russia, he would use this to bring peace to Ukraine. And definitely he is a wise man. He is not coming just for a symbolical visit to Ukraine. He must be carrying some serious message from all over the leaders of the world to the Ukrainian president as well. And he would definitely advise from his experience and his purview that how Ukraine can move towards a, like peace, and where we can stop this war. And you see, as Ram and Manish told, that the whole of Ukrainian population, apart from expats, they are disturbed. 5 million of people have gone out of this country, and they are living like nomads. And which it needs to be stopped. It needs to be put to some end. And I think that Prime Minister we have very high hopes from our Prime Minister that in this scenario of the world, he is the only person who can bring peace to Ukraine.
Bring peace to Ukraine. But final word to you, sir. If you can sum up the assessment of the Indian community, and also essentially what motivates you to be here. This is a country which is witnessing war. There is a sense of what next here as well. So what's the motivation that you're standing here in Ukraine and happy as well?
So Ukraine is our second home. Like Mr. Sanjeev and Ram, they have been, of course, living here for a longer period of time. Myself, it's been more than 20 years. Like I have been here, so it's like a second home, and there's a joy when you come here. Besides, no, everyone here is into something essential commodities. Like someone is into pharmaceutical, someone is into food business. So these are all essential commodities which are required here, and we all, in our own way, have done something for the country to help the people and all. So if we stop working, like the essential goods don't reach to the people. So this is something which keeps us going. In the country.
So message of optimism at a time of despair, that's the message that the Indian community is giving. And these are the members of the Indian community who are, of course, braving and staying here, continuing that important people-to-people link, the living bridge between India and Ukraine. With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Sidhant Sibal for WION in Kyiv, Ukraine.